What is going on, everybody? This is B Red,
And this is Postman. What's up?
and this is Poor Therapy. And yeah, like I said, we're just here for people to communicate with. We want to get your outlook on life, your situations, problems. Yeah, we just want to communicate with people. So if you see the number down at the bottom of the screen, you can call in or you can text, and we'll set up a time that we can talk to you and just uh, just get to know you. Really, that's basically all this is. But other than all that, how was your day?
That's pretty good.
Go grocery shopping
I
today?
did go grocery shopping today. Yeah.
Why do you always choose Thursday?
That's when she gets paid.
Oh, okay. Uh,
How was your day?
my day was kind of boring. I tried to work on the walls again, and can't really do that when you got kids and everything. They just get in the way, and then they pick up things, and it's more work trying to get it done with the kids around than it is. So I've decided that I'm just gonna wait till either I don't have them or they're busy doing something else. So I got a postponed on the wall situation.
Mm.
And if people are wondering what I'm talking about, I am in the process of sanding and stripping my plastered walls. And hopefully, after I do this, I will probably never ever paint them again. So once we paint them, that's up there until I die, unless my woman wants to pay somebody to come in and paint them, then I'll allow that.
You think you're gonna live here the rest of your life?
I don't know. I was thinking about that the other night because once the kids are grown or whatever, like, what do you do? Because I was thinking about that because like right now, like I'm just working, getting the kids stuff for school, whatnot, getting the youngest one ready, trying to get her ready for school next year. But then once they're out of school, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But that's for a future problem.
Oh, you're gonna have a hard midlife crisis. I see
You think
it.
so?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm be let's see.
Go out and buy a sports car, probably a Corvette.
Well, by the time the youngest is graduated, I'll be 46. Damn, I'll be 46 when the youngest is graduated and doing whatever she's doing by then. So 46 is when I'll be having my midlife crisis. I'm gonna need you when we're going through that. I don't think I'll have midlife crisis. I think I don't know. I'm pretty level headed, so I don't think. Hopefully, I shouldn't have anything like that, but I don't know. But what up, babe? She's liking the live. So yeah. Other than that, that was basically it. And then had a heck of a time trying to start the fire for the podcast or whatever, so we wouldn't freeze. Had to bring the baby out here in a blanket, bundle her up. She was sitting here while I was trying to do everything possible. Like what for whatever reason, I damn near had to use gasoline to get the fire going, and I had to like keep pouring it on just to keep it going. So
Maybe the logs were wet.
I was thinking that because I got a tarp over them, but I don't know if moisture or whatever seeps into them or whatnot. But I finally got it going and whatnot, so it's it's going. But other than that, pretty boring day. Other than trying to hurry up and rush and find Reddit posts and everything.
You got anything you want to talk about? Any politics?
I do have a bunch of politics
A
stuff.
bunch? I don't
I would
know.
all right. I wouldn't say a bunch, but it does retain around politics and whatnot. So like for one, Patel he got the FBI spot. So I'm waiting to see all the incriminating stuff coming out that the FBI is gonna have because this guy's like a bulldog. Like anything that criminal or whatever, he's just gonna go after and prosecute. So that's gonna be pretty interesting to see what he digs up. Let's see what else. RFK got his spot, so I'm waiting to see if he does anything with our health and food and all of that. Those are really the only two spots that I really cared about, the administration spots or whatnot, because those are the ones that are really going to affect change. And if there is any change that's going to come out of it, those are the ones that are going to do it.
What's your opinion on all these layoffs and cuts in government?
This might make some people mad, but the layoffs and cuts, I think, needs to happen. And it's it's unfortunate. It's going to affect a lot of people. But if you just go and look at all the fraud and abuse in the government, there's going to be a shit ton of layoffs and firings and whatnot, because we have a lot of excess, or a lot of people that don't really need to be there that are just getting paid for nothing. Like, did you see the whole Social Security thing?
Mm.
Oh my. So this is a huge, I wouldn't say like a huge like blow to the Democrats, but it's and nobody's even talking about it. I mean, the Republicans and all of them are talking about it, but like no Democrats. So Doge, Elon, whatever you want to call it, he found, if I remember correctly, 6.5 million Social Security numbers that reflect as people. 6.5 million of them are older than 150. Okay, so therefore, 6.5 million people are getting paid that are over 150. Do you know the oldest person in America is?
Like probably 110.
Let me Google that real quick, because I didn't look it up.
But anyways, most of these people are dead.
Yeah, they're all dead. So they're trying to track down to see who's getting all this money, because 6.5 million people that are dead are getting paid. So they're trying to figure out like where all the money's going and everything, which is probably going to be a while before we hear anything of that. But it's still crazy that they found that many people in the Social Security thing, which I'm betting the whole Medicare and all that is going to be 10 times worse, because basically, like, you got your whole sanctuary cities and whatnot, like California, New York, and all of them through all the immigrants and whatnot onto the Medicare. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see all the corruption and waste there. For me, I'm pretty excited about, the government getting slimmed down a little bit.
You know what I think?
What?
I think most of those people are just going to go on unemployment. They're going to get their money from the government one way or another.
Yeah, but the thing now is there's new unemployment rules. Like, you have to turn in, like, you have to have proof that you're actively looking for a job. And if you turn down a job, you lose your unemployment.
Mm.
So, yeah, they can go on unemployment, but it ain't going to be no couple-year thing. So, if they do, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, because they'll have to find another job eventually. But you want to know the thing that Trump and Elon and his cabinet is trying to implement?
What?
So basically what they want to do is, what is that? Oh, my bad. Basically what they want to do is all this fraud and waste and everything that they're finding, like all the money, they want to take 20% of every dollar that they find or whatever, and return it to tax-paying Americans. So roughly, I was messing around with ChatGPT and all those and everything. They were giving me ChatGPT is a huge lifesaver when you have to do like math calculations and all that crap. because you can just put it in there and then it'll just give you the answer, and it'll tell you how it got the answer and everything. Which is, well, everybody's gonna be doing it anyway, if they haven't already. But basically, the American taxpayer should, if they implement it, which they got bills in the House and Congress that may or may not pass, but if they do it, every taxpayer American could get anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000. So yeah, I could use an extra $5,000 to $8,000. So I'm not hating on it.
Stimmies.
Yeah. What? All right. If you got $5,000 to $8,000, what would you do with it?
I got some debt to pay off.
Yeah, I do too. So what I would do is I'd pay off my credit card. Because my credit card is pretty high up there. Because when I had my appendix surgery, I had to use that a bunch of times. I'd pay off my car because I only got I think $2,000 left on my car, if that. And then I'd use the rest of the money for like a four-wheeler or something for the kids.
Don't you have a four-wheeler?
I do, but there's a bunch of stuff wrong with it, and I just don't feel like taking the time to messing with it because it's a 1970s four-wheeler, and half the parts that I need they don't make anymore. And so
I'm sure your dad can help you.
Yeah, I'm sure he would too. But shit, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the $5,000 to $8,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they might implement that, which if they do that, that would be great. Just that alone, I mean, that's more than anything that Joe Biden or any of the others have done for America. So I'm all for it. I'm all for the cutting the fat off the government. I'm all for trying to find all the fraud and all that. There was a Congress lady. I can't remember her name. She's let me look Google it. That way I can speak accurately on it. So Congress, I think it's like Omar or something like that. So Omar Ayan. Yeah, so she basically she's from Somalia, or not from Somalia, but let me see. Her brother's from Somalia. She married her brother so he could come to America, and she has like a bunch of like things against America, whatnot. Well, our Congress people kicked her out of all the committees. Do you know what they are? Sure. So committees are basically parties within Congress that upheld regulations on different things. Like you got the foreign committees, which upheld regulations on like foreign affairs and all that crap.
Okay.
And there's hundreds of these committees. Well, she got kicked off of all of her committees, which I think were only like 5 or so. And basically what they're trying to do now is kick her out of Congress and impeach her. So we'll see how that goes. The dude that I can't wait to see what Patel finds on him, he's a Democrat named Adam Schiff, I think. He's I can't remember where he's from or whatever, but just looking at this dude, like how you can look at people and just like their character shows something.
Evil.
Yeah. Like you look at that dude and you can just tell. So I can't wait to see what Patel finds out about him and everything. Because during the whole hearings for Patel, this guy was just hammering, like just trying to find anything to stick, and he couldn't find anything. So I can't wait to see what he finds on that Adam guy. But yeah, so that's basically that. Oh, I got a question.
Okay.
What's your opinion on weather modding or cloud seeding. Do you think it's real? And what's your opinion on it? Obviously, well, go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to answer it for you.
So as far as I'm aware, like the technology is, you talk about like weather alteration.
Yes.
Okay. So as far as I know, the technology is there, but it's not like as severe or like extreme as like the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Like they can't just like poof into existence a Hurricane 5, you know. I mean, I'm completely ignorant on the subject, so I really don't know. But I mean, I don't know. Farmers need rain. If we can make it rain, why not?
All right. Have you noticed that like everywhere's flooding? So like we got another huge flood. Parts of Southern Virginia, Kentucky, and all them got like flooded, and like their towns and stuff. Pretty much like the same thing from North Carolina.
Oh my God, the government's flooding towns.
Well, no. That's not the thing. So the thing is China actively seeds their weather. Okay. So they actively like constantly like fuck up the weather patterns or whatnot. So what I think's happening is they're messing with the weather patterns over there, and it's affecting our weather patterns, and it's causing like, more rain and stuff in areas that normally don't get a lot of rain. So that's what I think's happening. I don't have anything to back that up or prove it. That's just my opinion, but I do think like there are consequences of us like trying to manipulate or change how Mother Nature operates and whatnot.
Yeah,
because it's a very fine system, like how Mother Nature.
Is it though?
I think it is. I think it's like a whole balance thing with how.
Mother Nature but we've operates. Already messed it up.
Oh yeah, we've
all the nukes we set off and the ozone layer.
I don't think the nukes necessarily have much to do with it, other than all the pollution and crap that we put out.
You don't think all that heat just poofed into existence?
Well, here's the thing. So I was reading this thing about microplastics, and apparently we have so much microplastics on the bottom of the ocean that it's heating up the bottom of the ocean and rising. So, I mean, that's going to affect the, what is that thing called? The Atlantic Ocean current. That's the current that like wraps around the world and the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So all that warm water, whatever, coming from the bottom is going to affect that current. And that's just going to affect the sea life. And there was a thing I was reading, I can't remember where. There's some beach, and there was like 100 whales that got beached or whatever. And apparently, like that's from, I think, going down the rabbit hole, we're gonna go down the rabbit hole real quick. So you know how the magnetic field is changing?
No.
You don't know that? Oh, God. All right. So basically for like the last 10, 15 years, our magnetic field has slowly been moving, and it's moving in toward Russia. So when you have a compass or whatever, it's not like it was 10 years ago. Okay. So our poles are shifting. So
that's going to alter a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So that's what I think, like all the beached whales and all that thing's coming from, because most of Mother Nature runs off the magnetic field to migrate and, to move around and whatnot. So that's basically what I think is happening with like the planes, because there was like another 4 or 5 planes that crashed, which is insane because just, in the last 6 months, there's been like 20 plane crashes, which is more than I've ever, noticed in my life. So I don't know if that has to do with how the poles are shifting or whatnot, but.
What's your favorite shaped hat?
Shaped hat?
Yeah, just a baseball cap.
Well, the thing is I don't wear hats. So the only thing I do wear is a shit. What's that thing called? A beanie or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I wear that, but I only wear that 3 days out of the week, and that's only for work.
It'd be a little hard to make a tinfoil hat shaped like a beanie, but I'll see what I
What?
can
Well,
do.
you don't think that has anything to do with all that?
I don't know, man. I just don't know.
All right. When we're done with this episode, I'm gonna send you a couple articles, and I want you to read them.
Okay.
And it's gonna be about how our magnetic poles are switching. What else do you want to learn?
I don't know. I'm kind of ignorance is bliss. I don't want to know.
See, my thing is I want to know too much, but then you run into the problem of just knowing too much. Because, like, I'll say, like, when I'm at work, I'm constantly listening to different podcasts here and there, and I'm constantly just overloading my brain with different information. And the problem is I only retain like 10% of it. So I can listen to a bunch of stuff, but I'm only taking in bits and pieces here and there. But yeah, so that's my theory on the pole shifting and everything. I mean, it's not really a theory. We know it's happening. But that's why I think, you got all these whales on the beaches, you got all these plane crashes and whatnot. Yeah. So that's that. Do you got anything?
So I met with my mentor from high school, my robotics team,
Okay.
on Monday. I remember I was here, and then I left to go meet him.
Yeah.
We had some old computers to give me, and then we chatted for about an hour and a half. And a couple things that I want to bring up. He's obsessed with ham radios and stuff.
Okay. Ham radios?
Yeah, and
So talking to like truckers and everything.
No.
No?
No. He's just obsessed with like radio stuff in general, like using like pinging off a tower and whatnot.
Okay.
And yeah, so he's trying to convince me to
Get you one?
get my license, and he's like, "I'll give you your first radio. It's already programmed with all the channels." And but he's such a smart man, and like just the difference in intellect levels is so obvious when we're talking. And I mean, I think I'm a relatively smart guy, but I mean, to keep up with him sometimes it's difficult. And but we were reminiscing about robotics, and so robotics FRC first robotics competition. FIRST stands for inspiration and recognition of science and technology. And so like you got competitions for it all over the United States.
Yeah.
There's like over like 10,000 teams, and our team number was 3872. Anyway, so he quit 2 years after I graduated, and no one took it over as far as he knows ever since. And so I was kind of curious what the school did with all that equipment, because I mean there's probably like $18,000 worth of robotics equipment up in there, and because he only took stuff that he bought home.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to reach out to the high school to see if they still have any of it, which I kind of doubt that they do. They probably got rid of it already.
Probably pawned it.
Yeah. Or I
Need
mean,
that athletic stuff.
Yeah. And but I'm hoping that they still have it in like a storage container or something. And really, I'm hoping that they'll give it to me. But I know that they're going to have it. They're probably going to want me to pay for it. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure that out. I'd love to get my hands on some of that stuff.
Yeah. You want to know a cool little science experiment I want to do.
What's that?
So, it's like, it's like 3 months ago. I went to a couple YouTube videos of how to make things out of like microwave parts. And I have 2 microwaves that are sitting in one of my back buildings. And I was just thinking, I was like, well, for one, one of them don't work. So I was thinking about taking it apart and just seeing if I couldn't like just make something. Because for some reason I've had the urge to just take stuff apart and just see what I can do with it. Like see what I can make. I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know if it's just like I want to invent something or whatnot. But I've had the urge for I would say about 4 or 5 months.
You gotta be careful messing with microwaves. You're gonna give yourself a free vasectomy.
Well, I got enough kids, so. But I was looking up videos on like what I could use spare parts and stuff for, and you can use. There's a circle thing and microwaves. It's like I wouldn't say it's like a magnetic cylinder or whatever, but you can take that and you can take something out of like a motor or whatever. Like a God, I wish I had something to describe it. But anyway, you can take this and make your own like power bank thing to like power stuff. And I kind of want to try that, but the only thing is I'm kind of hesitant because what if I do something wrong and then like something explodes or catches on fire or something like that. So I've been kind of just like putting it off to the side. But it's something like I have the urge to do. I might do it. I don't know yet. But do you want to know something that I did do? So the other night, I was like, you know what? I like physics. I like, the whole quantum theory and how space works and everything. I was like, let me, just for the heck of it, look into some classes. So I looked into some classes. And surprisingly enough, there's some classes that are free. So I downloaded the I can't remember which university I downloaded it from, but I downloaded it, this pack thing, and chapter 1 is all about measuring distance, velocity, and all that crap. And you got like a bunch of different problems you have to do. I'm stupid. So I started doing it and I was like, all right, I can do this. This is the basics of physics. This is what you have to learn in order to learn the big boy stuff. And I was like, all right, so let me start on this. Well, I started to try to do the problems and I quickly found out just how dumb I am. Because I was like, oh my God, like this ain't making any sense to me. So then I had to download another basic pack just to be able to learn all about velocity and measuring distance and the point of view and perspective of that distance and like all this other crap. And so I got about 2 hours in and I had to take a break and I haven't touched it since. So I'm trying to work my motivation up in order to finish it. And so I can start to get back into physics and everything. But God, like, I just want to learn the cool stuff. But in order to understand like the really cool stuff and to get the grasp of how all that works, you got to learn the basics. And the basics suck. But if you really want to learn something, you got to learn the stuff that's not very fun, which is unfortunate. So I'm gonna try to work up my motivation and try to get the basics of physics down. I'll let you know how that goes. I plan on trying to get a couple of them done tonight later on. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm just trying to force myself into like a direction, if that makes any sense. We'll see how it goes. I will say after I did take a break from it, I had no motivation to learn anything about velocity and all the other crap that deals with that. But I really want to get my head around like quantum theory and all that stuff. So I'm gonna try to hype myself up for it.
I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
I think you're jumping too far ahead, but
You think so?
yeah.
Well, what would you do?
I mean,
Like that's the basics of it.
like
So-
what, introductory to physics?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose that's fine. I mean, is there anything that's like a prerequisite for it, like calculus or?
That's later on. So all the math stuff and all that's later on, which I took a tiny little bit in high school.
I took physics in high school.
I'm gonna have to brush up on all that when I get to it. But yeah. I don't know. I just thought like, I'm gonna have to force myself to just try to do it in order for me to at least learn it. Because what I'm doing now, I'm just picking things that like, oh, that's cool. Let me learn about that. Oh yeah, that's cool. Let me learn about that. That's what I'm doing. So I'm not learning any. I'm learning the cool little bits, but I have no knowledge of the main things that lead up to that, if that makes sense. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to learn all the crap that leads up to that. That way I'll have a better understanding of the top things that I want to learn about. If that makes sense.
So anyways, back to my mentor. So he was telling me his granddaughter.
My bad. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
That's all good. His granddaughter has 3 master's degrees and is going for a 4th.
Dang.
And he's like,
What's
just go for a doctorate already.
What's her degrees in?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But she was invited to England to present one of her papers.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And
I wish you knew what they were.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I couldn't tell if he was like just proud of his granddaughter and wanted to talk about it,
Well, I'd be bragging about it.
But it kind of got me thinking, and my wife hates whenever I bring this up because it's like a broken record. You ever think you're meant for something more?
Yes, I do. So, I have to keep myself like in reality and everything because like I'm always like like I could do more. Like I could just I feel like I could help humanity in some way, and then after I get my head like kind of overloaded and everything, I'm like, all right, Brad, like let's get it into reality. All right, you're a father. All right, you work. Let's just keep on track with that, and then just do life. But yes, I get that feeling a lot. Continue what you were saying.
I don't know.
I think everybody has that though.
Yeah, and which I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like I talked to my wife about it today. She was unhappy, and then she proceeded to tell me like all the great things that I've done, like in my career and all the cool stuff I got to do. And it's like maybe I just feel a little stagnant, And I don't know. I feel like career-wise, I never did anything like profession-wise, I never did anything that I think was
Satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did some cool stuff, and I got some cool stories to tell, but I don't know. I didn't get invited to England to present a paper. I don't know. But I mean, I have done some cool stuff, especially working in documented cargo for Eielson Air Force Base, which is like like a post office for all the maintenance shops. Uh, that was a lot of fun. I moved a lot of equipment, a lot of high dollar stuff, which is I mean, like I'm not one. I hate bragging, but I mean, it is pretty cool. Like I moved millions of dollars of equipment, especially for the F-35s, which kind of still are, but at the time were the hot thing
Yeah.
in the military, and being able to handle those parts and stuff. Like not many people say they did that.
You know what I would have done?
What?
Hypothetically, I would have had me one of those etching pens that you can like put your initials and stuff on, and I would have put my initials on one of the plane wings. Hypothetically,
Mm-hmm. BH.
who is this? And just like no one would really know other than me.
Oh, they know.
You think so?
Oh yeah, all those parts get heavily inspected.
Oh, okay. Well, I would make it like tiny, to where like you can barely see it. But you got anything else?
I mean, I guess not. I thought
So,
we talked about that more.
Well, talking about that, I was Eve. I don't know if you could. I mean, I guess you could call it like a sort of midlife crisis. So the other, all right, you can't call it a midlife crisis, but it kind of pendles on that. So the other day I was sitting there thinking like trying to evaluate, like compare my life to other people's life and everything, which people always say, like, don't compare because, it takes the joy and everything out of life and everything. But I was doing that and I was like, man, like you saying, like, I could do so much more. Like, the potential's there. Like, I'm not disabled or anything. I tend to think I'm pretty smart until I actually challenge myself, and then I quickly find out just how dumb I am. But anyway, like I had a weird, just like a down myself, I guess you could say. Like I was like, damn, like like I could have done so much more, this and that. And then I got on TikTok and I started scrolling, and then I started seeing like videos. I can't like remember exactly what I seen, but I just like kept seeing like people's lives, and they weren't that great. Like I do remember one, like this dude was living in his car, and he was like sitting there crying, like saying like he didn't have enough money for food and this and that. And I was like, damn, like I started to think like, my life ain't really that bad. Like I have a house. I can afford things. I'm not rich by no means, but I would say like, on the poor level, I'm like one block up, whatever that block is.
Lower middle class.
Yeah, I would say I'm lower middle class. We don't struggle for food or anything like that. If we want something, we can usually get it. As long as it's not like pricey. Like we ain't eating steak every night or whatever. But yeah, I basically kind of humbled myself back and, started to appreciate what I have. So I don't know, it's just a weird circle of emotions that I went through, and I was like, okay. So I humbled myself back. Yeah, if you have things in life, just be grateful for what you have. Don't don't put yourself down. If you have certain things, just be humble. Be glad you have them. And if there are things out there that you want, work towards getting them.
So good enough is satisfying for you.
Like what do you classify that as though? Like
You think that just because like you're not a meth head somewhere in a back alley, that like that's good enough? Like,
I mean, life standards. I'm not rolling around and like high dollar stuff and new cars or anything, but
okay, let me put it to you like this.
okay.
Uh, you want your kids to be and do the best that they can.
Yes.
Be the best that they can.
Yes.
Why doesn't it apply to you? You want them to go great and far in life, right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't it apply to you?
I mean, it kind of does. Like I'm.
Like, do you want your kids to just be? I mean, this is gonna sound awful, but to just be another nobody.
Well, I don't think nobody wants their kids to be a nobody. Like I want them, like whatever they decide to do in their life, uh, you know, if they want to be a veterinarian or whatever, whatever they decide, like I want them to try to be like the best that they can be. My predicament though is I have no idea who I want to be.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
yeah. I think that's a problem with our generation.
Yeah. So like, I'm kind of, I'm.
But then, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But then it's like, what's wrong with good enough? What's wrong with just providing for your family? It's.
I mean, that's what pretty much everybody has done since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're, I don't know, if you're. I don't know.
My thing is I wouldn't say I'm stuck, because like in a way I do sort of feel stuck, because like I can't just quit my job right now. Like I have mortgage, I have kids, you got car payment, insurance, all that other crap. So like just to quit my job, just to be able to go see what I want in life, that wouldn't be a very smart thing for me to do.
I mean, yeah, you got to do what you got to do to take care of your family.
Yeah. So my advice for anybody younger that don't have a family or any financial responsibilities, just go travel. Like this is what I'm going to hound into my kids. So as soon as they turn 18, if they do have a job preference or whatever, and they want to do it, I'm going to do everything in my power to help them do it. But I'm also going to try to get them to venture out and, travel the world to see what's out there. Because, I would have loved to go to Japan. Like, that's one of my top places to go visit.
I'll try to take you when I go.
We'll have to see, because,
2030, baby. 5 years. Save up.
That's when you're going?
Probably.
Now, what are y'all going to Japan for? Just to visit? Or just to...
No, I'm going to go to the red light district and give me 5 hookers.
Well, how long?
I don't know, a week.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. Yeah. All right. But anyway, regarding what I was saying, like I'm gonna try to push my kids to like go out and adventure, and if they want to be a veterinarian or whatever, they can do that after they go out and adventure and whatever. Like maybe they'll find something else they want to do in life. Like it doesn't have to be something that is like a high paying job or whatever. Like if they hypothetically, if one of them loves the paint or whatever, I'll support them in becoming an artist and doing all that crap. So my main goal is just to try to push them out of their comfort zone and for them to experience different things, because that's something that if I had unlimited money, that's something I would be doing. Like I'll obviously I would stick around here for my family and whatnot, but on the weekends, we're going to Japan, we're going to here, we're going to, Egypt to see the pyramids, all this other crap that, people do. That's what I would be doing. I would just be like experiencing other perspectives of life and, just seeing how things work and whatnot. But, yeah, I don't even know how we got on this conversation.
Well, I mean, what is more, like, is it saving lives? Is it helping people? Is it helping the world in some way? Or, like, I don't know. I mean, this is stuff that, haunts me. It's like, of course, I start feeling this way, and I see an advertisement for the Space Force. I was like, God, I want to go.
I can't wait till we get like spaceships in space, and people can sign up for that, and you just venture out and explore and whatnot.
I hope I can,
like, even if it's just to explore like comets and asteroids and stuff like that, that's still pretty cool.
I hope I can convince my kid to join the Space Force.
More than likely, I don't know how safe is actual space though. That's the thing, because the main thing is our radiation belt. Yeah, we can go up and over it, but it's going to take like 10 times the amount of time to go up and over our radiation belt. So until we find something that can repel the radiation as we go through it, we're going to be stuck around Earth for a while. That's why, like, the whole Mars thing, like, it's going to be a while before we get people there. Unless we can find some way to shield our stuff. I don't know if we have a way. That's something I've never really looked up. But, yeah, so, like, the whole venture thing, I'm really hoping, like, we explode in that. Like, I'm hoping we explode in that area sometime soon. Oh, I do have something to show you, though.
Oh, boy.
All right. So I was scrolling on TikTok.
Like you do.
Yeah. That's my one. It's my one way of venturing out and seeing what's out there. Because I've tried YouTube. I've tried X. Mostly X for some weird reason. It's just a lot of people dying. There's a lot of death videos on X. And it's highly publicized and everything. TikTok seems to have like this fine line of everything. So, but anyway, I was scrolling through TikTok and I'll show you what I seen. And I was like, I'm definitely showing them this. So you remember, I can't remember when we was talking about it, but we was talking about robots.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'll show you. I'll just show you. I don't want to butcher it or anything. Let me share. Oh, don't do this to me. All right. So look at this.
This is wild. A company called Clone Robotics just released new footage of their first ever bipedal musculoskeletal android. It's a robot that is designed to work in your home. And as you can see, it looks a lot like a human. They're only manufacturing 279 of these, and it's going to come with the following preset skills. It will memorize your clean home layout, so it knows exactly how to clean your house. It memorizes your kitchen inventory, so it knows where everything goes. It's capable of witty dialogue. It will shake hands with your.
So I'm going to end her right there because she's just going to name off a bunch of things that the robot can do. It's basically just going to clean your house and follow you around. And they're making, what she said, like 296 of those. So basically,
do you look into this stuff past the video?
No, I just watched the video. But I mean they basically have the framework there. We have AI.
So you think that's real?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't think that's real?
I don't think it's real.
All right. We're gonna have to do a deep dive on this and see if it's real. But I think it's real because we got AI So we got a robotic program that can sort of make decisions on what you input into it. So therefore, if like you tell your robot, "Hey, go wash dishes," it can make its way to the sink. It can start washing dishes or whatever. Or you tell it to go sweep the floor. It has the ability to be able to go and do that.
Tell it
So
to pleasure you.
now that's the thing. That's what's really going to make the robot manufacturing explode is when they come with sex dolls.
That's another reason why I don't believe it. It's a male body. No.
Well,
way.
I think we're anywhere from 5 to 10 years of having active robots been able to clean your house and everything. But I also think that on the offset of that, you're also going to have sex dolls. And I don't necessarily think that. I mean, it would be a good thing for the people that have bad intentions. Like, you got the peeping toms and the rapist and all that crap. It'd be good for them. But the problem that you're going to have, and what you have with youth now, is porn, and all the kids are going to want a sex doll. And so that's going to affect, because like right now we're having like this huge thing with people from 18 to 30 or whatever just single. Nobody's having kids. So that's going to make everything 10 times worse, I think, when these sex dolls start coming out.
You gonna buy your kid one?
No. I will now if they're affordable, I will buy one that can do chores and shit around the house, because I'm tired of vacuuming my house. The little Wally robots don't work. They get stuck all the time, and they just do a half-assed job. So whenever I'm able to buy me one of the robots that can just walk around and clean and do laundry and stuff like that, that's gonna be great. But like I said, the offset on it is you're gonna have sex robots, which is that's gonna be crazy. But anyway,
Would you do it?
would I do a sex robot?
Yeah.
No, because that's gonna be like branching off of the whole porn thing. Because like, God, all right, here we go. All right, so basically, you got the whole porn thing, and you got, if you start watching this type of porn, you get numb to it, and then you start like lurking out the other porn types and everything. That's basically just going to happen with the robots.
Yeah, the golden showers.
Yeah, I mean, then you get into like crazy things where
Cleveland steamers.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
docking.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess with the sex robots. But I do have other political stuff I want to talk about, but we're already 53 minutes in.
Yeah.
So let me hurry up and simplify this.
Oh boy.
So you got the Ukraine flip. You know what that is?
Trump's like blaming Ukraine for the war with Russia.
Yeah, but the whole. All right. So if anybody's done any research, I kind of feel sorry for Ukraine because it's not really their fault. It's basically ours and Europe's fault for the whole war with Russia, because we kept on expanding NATO. Russia's always had the red line deal where if we would try to implement Ukraine, and there's some other country that's on their border, into NATO, that's the red line, that's where it stops and something happens. That's basically what happened with the whole Ukraine thing. I don't know if you know anything about the whole US aid debacle. You know how Trump shut down US aid, and basically the whole Joe Biden administration and all that was using US aid to fund all the legacy news media. They funded all the media for Ukraine, and all that. So they basically got Ukrainians upset, and all the crap happened, and then Russia invaded. So now Ukraine is kind of out on its own because Trump wants to end the war. And they had a meeting in Saudi Arabia, our Secretary of State and Russia's Secretary of State, or whoever you want to call for them, met up in Saudi Arabia to talk about the ceasefire and the peace agreements without Ukraine. And Europe's all mad and everything because they weren't involved in it. But Trump basically said, I don't really agree with him on this, but he basically said, it's Ukraine's fault and that Europe shouldn't have a part in it, which I don't think, Europe should have a part in it anyway, because we're trying to end a war. And it doesn't really involve them other than the whole NATO thing, which we fund 70% of. Yeah, so United States, Russia had a meeting. Ukraine basically said that they don't agree to anything without them being at the table, which does make sense. I mean, it involves them, so they should have some say into how their war ends that we funded and the last administration pretty much caused. And yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. I don't know how all that's going to go, but Trump basically said that the guy's a dictator because he stopped elections and everything. I don't really care about that because basically any war country or whatever stops all elections. But yeah, so it's unfortunate that we kind of turned on them, but that just goes to show that you have to watch what other countries do and everything. So they should have watched how the last administration or whatever was trying to set things up. But on the offhand, Europe wants to pick up what we dropped. So Europe wants to try to fund Ukraine and still have the war, which doesn't really make any sense until you realize that Europe and NATO is trying to make the biggest military base we've ever had in Poland. And basically, the whole reason for that is Poland is directly across from Russia, so we'll have a better advantage at fighting Russia whenever this base becomes finished or whatnot. But Trump's already said that he's cutting back all spending in NATO. And what I think is going to happen is Trump's going to end up leaving NATO because we fund 70% of NATO. And basically on a business standpoint, I believe that he's going to eventually leave it. Russia's already talked about leaving. China's already talked about leaving. And I think that what's going to happen in the end of everything is Trump's going to make his own NATO, and Russia, China, all the big countries are going to join it. And unfortunately, it looks like that if my opinion on that is correct, that's probably going to incite some other wars. So we'll probably end up possibly going to war with Europe and all that, which Europe right now is a huge mess. You got France, that's their government's downhill. Romania's downhill. Germany, they're having problems with their government. Greece is having problems with their government. The only government that seems to not have any problems in Europe is Spain and England. All the other countries in Europe are like going to shit. So yeah, that's That's my hypothetical outlook on how things are going to go.
You know, we need to rename this.
What is it?
It shouldn't be poor therapy anymore.
Well, it's not going to be poor therapy if we can get some callers. So, or it's not going to be political as much if we can get some callers. But yeah, I had something else. Oh, my other thing is NASA wants to start implementing plans on to deorbit the International Space Station. So the International Space Station has been up there since what, the 60s, 70s? And basically, the International Space Station is outdated. It's using technology from, like I said, the 60s, 70s. And the fuel that they have in it is only going to allow it, you know, to be up there for another 5 to 10 years. So I think that we should just take it down and make another one. And this time we should make a better one, and one that is more one that we can keep in space longer. Because like all of our satellites and shit, like we have thousands and thousands of satellites floating up there that don't even work. You know, they've ran out of power, they've ran out of the gas or whatever they use to move them. I think we should have like some type of nuclear, because we have nuclear subs. Why don't we have a nuclear space station? That would make sense. But yeah, that was just about the news that NASA wants to deorbit the International Space Station. What else you got? You got anything else?
I do
'Cause
not.
I don't have anything. Wait a minute. Go to you got any Reddits?
No.
Go to the Discord and bring that up, because there was something I sent you, but I can't remember what I sent you. All right, so that is about news conference.
And then you sent me something on Facebook.
Oh, what did I send you on Facebook?
I don't know. I'm not logged in.
All right, never mind that. Yeah, so I guess that's basically it. Got anything else you want to say?
No.
So yeah, so basically, guys, if you want to talk to us, I think between me and Sean, we have a pretty generalized, you know, we know some stuff here and there. If we don't know it, I mean, I'm more than happy to learn new things. So if you want to talk to us, the number is down on the bottom of the screen. If you're on Twitch and YouTube, if you're not on TikTok, you can just go to the bio. Yeah, so if you just want to talk to us, just text the number. We'll set up a time and date for you to be able to talk to us. And like I said, we'll talk about anything. It could be, you know, life problems, life situations. Could be about politics and whatnot, but that's, you're basically just going to hear my side of it. Sean don't really have much to do with politics. But yeah, we'll just give you poor therapy, and we'll just see how it goes and get to know people. So
Peace.
yeah, have a good evening, and catch us next Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll see you then. Later, guys. Bye-bye.